And we welcome you live to the Mustang Corral here at Edgewood High School, Ellettsville, Indiana. As tonight, it's a boys and girls varsity basketball doubleheader as the Indian Creek Braves are in town to take on the Edgewood Mustangs. Thank you for joining us for Edgewood Mustang Basketball and Smithville Sports. Alongside Jeremy Nutter, I am Nick Jenkinson. And Jeremy, this girls' game tonight is going to be interesting. With Edgewood had been on the road for over a month. The last time they were home, we were here against Linton November the 10th. And now they get to finally come home a month later to face Indian Creek in the Western Indiana Conference East Division matchup.
Yeah, it was interesting. We talked to Coach Simic a little bit before the game, and he seemed to have a really optimistic look on Edgewood's opportunity this game, as they've had a few unlucky games the past few. And so just hearing him speak about the girls and about how if they just complete and are able to close out some shots, wins are definitely in their future.
They fell the other day to Shackermack 40-36, and as you mentioned, Coach Simic was talking to us before the game, and he said the biggest problem that they had was missed layups. 22 of them, in fact, as what he told us. So, he said a good week of practice. Obviously, we talked about the good week of practice, and, they haven't been home for a while, so they're hungry to be back in front of this, to be back in the friendly confines of the Mustang Corral, ready to go after it against Indian Creek.
Yeah, especially with this pep band here, really get them juiced up and ready to go. And I expect a pretty good game if they really, apply those things that they had and learned in the good week of practice and are able to continue to go forward and close out those shots against this Indian Creek team. It should be a good matchup and ultimately a pretty good game.
Indian Creek comes in 5-6, averaging about 47 points a game. They lost at home to Whiteland Tuesday night, 40-32. They actually have lost their last two games. As we are getting ready for the national anthem with the Edgewood Pep Band. The Edgewood Pep Band, the state championship Edgewood Pep Band won the state title earlier this year for the first time in school history. So, again, they always do a great job as well. So, here are the starters for Indian Creek. And they're going to start with Caitlin Snyder at 1 forward, 5'10", senior, wearing number 12.
Number 20,
Allie Harris, a 5'11", junior, wears number 20 at guard.
Number 24,
Kaylin Tudor, 5'8", senior, wears number 24. Heather Maddox, 5'8", senior, wears number 32. And then Hannah Grider as a 5'3", junior for Indian Creek, coached by Brian Ferris. He is 17-17 his second year at Indian Creek. They were 12-11 last year, lost to Danville in the sectional semifinals. And then here come the Edgewood Mustangs. It will be Carly Sherfield, number 10, 5'5" freshman. Allie Spear is a 5'6" junior, wearing number 22. Taylor Minnick, 5'6", sophomore, wears number 23. Kaylee Meyer, 5'8" senior. And then Trista Helms in the middle, 5'9" freshman wearing number 34. Kurt Simic, his first year as an Edgewood varsity head coach. He's 2-10 so far. Again, as we talked about, Jeremy says a very positive week in practice. The girls are staying positive. The attitudes are, the spirits are staying up despite a tough skid here. But there's no doubt they're ready for this game tonight.
Yeah, and talking to him, and then also hearing about and looking at their roster, you see a really young team and about what the future could hold. But they also talked about how they wanted to be able to not just rely on the excuse that they're a young team and instead play like an experienced team and play hard. So we'll see how they do this game. And
we are underway here as Edgewood controls the tip. Kaylee Meyer with the ball. She wears number 25. Taylor Minnick, number 23, and then she gets called for the travel early on. Again, this game is important in the Eastern Division. The Cloverdale-Owens Valley 2-0, Cascade 2-1, Indian Creek 1-2, Brown County and Edgewood 0-2. So Edgewood hoping to get out of the cellar tonight with the victory. Always important because the crossover matchups come up in January. And where you finish in the division is who you play in the other division for the overall standing. So, these teams don't want to play for – Edgewood doesn't want to play for 11th place out of 12.
Yeah, you never really want to be down there. You always want to try to compete at the highest level possible. So getting a win here would be really important for them. And it looks like right now Indian Creek's just trying to test the waters, run some plays, and see how it is.
And there's what Edgewood does. This is a steal, and it's Trista Helms going the other way. She's going to get fouled. Not exactly probably who you want to handle the ball, but a good defensive play by Trista Helms with that steal.
Yeah, good job reading after, maybe getting complacent with them running plays and being able to pick off a pass and end up getting a look and possibly a basket.
And get the ball inside to Helms, and it was kicked off the Indian Creek player. It will be Edgewood ball.
Looks like both teams are just trying to find their bearings and see what they're doing and try to penetrate the basket. And
as that was taken away by Carly Sherfield, up ahead for Indian Creek, and that is good for number 41, Hannah Greider, and she will get to go to the line for the chance to compete the three-point play.
Yeah, that was just some hard-nosed drive to the basket. Again, that's probably the first kind of fast break we've seen so far this game, so we'll see how Indian Creek and how Edgewood both combat that as they haven't really been able to hold on to the ball for possession and convert a basket. So hopefully we'll see more developed plays and end up finishing.
As that's another steal. This time it is Heather Maddox, and she gets it right inside, and Allie Harris, number 20, scores, and Indian Creek scores a quick 5 points.
And it looks like they're trying to keep the pressure on with a full court press, but you never know with these.
As Taylor Minnick responds for Edgewood, as she gets fouled, will get to go to the line.
Like I was saying, you never know with them. You can get cut on the break, and there they did, and ended up giving up a possible three-point play.
Taylor Minnick at the line, and she hits completes the three-point play, and now this lead is cut to 2. Here come the Braves, and Harris cannot hang on to it. Out of bounds, it will be Edgewood ball.
You can definitely see an increase in intensity from the beginning of the game in Indian Creek. They're pressing, they're wanting to fly up the court with that pass we just saw.
And one thing, too, in the series history going back to 2013, Indian Creek has won all 6 meetings. Last year, they won 55-34. So Edgewood not only hungry for a win this season, they want to beat Indian Creek. They haven't been able to do that so far. Indian Creek just came into the Western Indiana Conference about 2 years ago. So these teams are going to face each other year in and year out for the foreseeable future. So I know that not only is it in the mind to snap this losing skid, it's also in their mind that they want to beat Indian Creek for the first time.
Yeah, I've definitely been part of teams that go off a losing streak and are able to snap it, and it's a really good feeling for sure. So I bet these girls are really wanting to do that.
As the ball inside, and Caitlin Snyder, who drew a double team, still able to get the basket, and this lead is 4. Nice pass from Minnick to Allie Spear, not able to finish. And Maddox with the rebound, and like you said, Jeremy, Indian Creek pushing immediately.
Absolutely, yeah, they're really going after it and trying to go inside and use maybe some of their height advantage that they have in there. If you look at the roster, Indian Creek definitely has a height advantage and are able to exploit that in the inside, as Edgewood's tallest player is about 5'9", so able to exploit those few extra inches and possibly get inside more and convert.
Here's a 3 from the top of the key. It is no good for Allie Harris. Taylor Minnick with the rebound, and Edgewood is going to try to push this. Minnick gets it to Carly Sherfield. Carly, just a freshman, has a twin sister, Claire. Older sister, Erin, played here a few years ago for the Lady Mustangs. And Carly gets fouled and will go to the line. Or not, won't go to the line, just the first team foul. Third team foul on Indian Creek, but it will be out of bounds to Edgewood.
Foul on number 41, Grider.
So that's on Grider, her first, team's third. And then Allie Spear can't get it to go, and immediately here comes Indian Creek. They're going to call the travel on the Braves, and it'll be Edgewood ball.
And hopefully we can see both of them develop their plays more. I've seen a lot of, at least in the first few minutes, just some simple high post picks that they bring the 4 and the 5 up and are able to there kind of peel off and hopefully get somebody open. But again, they have to do that quick, otherwise Indian Creek will be able to recover and take the ball away from them.
Like they did there with Maddox. And here come the Braves, wide open 3, too strong for Tudor. And Allie Spear with the rebound. She faces a double team trying to get it up the floor and is able to get it past the timeline. Approaching 4.5 minutes to go here in quarter number 1. One thing I see defensively on both teams, they're not giving each other any wiggle room whatsoever, as Meyer fires a shot and it's no good.
Yeah, and you can see Edgewood's kind of struggling as they leave a girl open with that high press offense as they kind of go back and try to expand out of the bottom of the key and try to defend from there. And that kind of leaves people open on the top and able to get some open 3 looks that Indian Creek hasn't been able to convert.
Snyder missed that shot. They called the jump ball possession arrow with the Lady Mustangs. 7-3 so far, Indian Creek on top.
It'll definitely be interesting to see if this full court press is kept up the whole game, because it's been quite effective so far. But I wonder if they have enough conditioning and are able to stick it out the whole game, because if so, it could be a real problem for Edgewood.
Yeah, Edgewood's had a strong, Edgewood's really scoring woes. They just average about 35 points a game so far this season. Again, have been on the road for about a month, 7 games on the road. They have not been home since November 10th. They opened the season with 5 straight home games. So they are happy to be home as Harris fires a 3. It is no good, and the rebound to Tudor, and then it's out of bounds. And it looks like it will stay with the Braves.
We'll see if defensively Edgewood will be able to recover and start being able to see their plays and defend at the top, because as we see there, it's a lot of catch-up defense. They're not able to kind of continue the pressure on them.
Snyder misses a shot. Here comes Minnick as Maddox flies to the floor. No call. Meyer's going to fire the 3 and nails it.
Absolutely nailed that. And it all started with that hard play down the edge and be able to play off and end up getting that pass out, and therefore you get a 3, and then she converted it.
Had a hand in her face too, and then Allie Harris double team, no good. There to clean it up was Caitlin Tudor. gets fouled, and she'll get to go to the line. That foul is on Taylor Minnick.
Foul by 23 Minnick.
That's her first, team second. This will send Caitlin Tudor to the line, 5'8" senior for Indian Creek. And she gets that one to go.
Tudor with 1 shot remaining.
She will get one more, as we will have a substitution after this. And she gets it both. Now we will see Jessie Hart, number 5, comes in the game, a 5'8" sophomore, and Tudor will go out.
And we'll see again this full court press and see if the trap will work for Indian Creek.
And there it does. Taylor Minnick's going to fly to the basket and get her 5th point. And here comes Indian Creek immediately in transition.
And again, even though Indian Creek got caught with that travel, Edgewood was not ready to defend that shot. And we just see how kind of their defensive mind gets caught down low too much. And that could be a problem for them going forward in the game.
Yeah, Edgewood's got to make sure that they just keep their heads in the game. Nice pass from Minnick to Helms, and she finishes. Edgewood with the lead. Trista Helms gets the opportunity to complete the 3-point play, and that is 2 on Hannah Greider for Indian Creek. Trista Helms, the freshman, has had a nice output so far. Last time we were here, 11 rebounds against Linton, but she misses that free throw, and then Minnick's going to get called for the foul, and that's her second.
Foul on number 23, Minnick.
And then Tudor's going to come in, and Greider's going to go out. Now we're going to see a substitution for Edgewood. This will be Zoe Powell,
in for the Mustangs.
5'6" freshman in the game for the first time. Edgewood, it's a young team, Jeremy. A lot of girls were injured last year, but Simic relies on a lot of freshmen and, not a lot of experience. Several girls missed last year due to injuries, but again, as he said, the attitudes have stayed positive so far through a tough season.
And that's definitely important to have because you can go through those slumps. I remember a few seasons where we only won 2 games, and you just kind of enjoy it and try to enjoy it with the team. And whenever you win, you have fun, and whenever you lose, you go back and you try to work hard. But you definitely look forward to the next season and try to hope for that, for the better. And they still have time to recover this season, but they definitely have an opportunity for next season to be much better and improve with such a young team.
As you see, Indian Creek going to fire the outside shot from the wing, and that's good for Jessie Hart, and this lead is 4.
And Indian Creek breaking away from their full court press after getting caught out a few times. So we'll see how they are able to do in a more of a man defense.
It looks like a little kind of a zone look right now, as Edgewood so far now trying to throw it over the top of the zone, and Indian Creek steals it. Jessie Hart, too strong, gets her own rebound and gets fouled.
She may be padding her stats now trying to get that, but definitely an interesting look going from man to zone down there with 2 down low, and ended up working out because it's definitely a rule never supposed to skip pass in a zone. It's a dangerous game to play.
It's always hard to throw over the top of the zone as well. As Jessie Hart at the line, she gets that one to go. 5'8" sophomore for the Braves. Indian Creek located in Trafalgar, Indiana, southern Johnson County. As they miss that free throw, Snyder gets her the rebound and the putback. She's got 6.
And that's where you can see the few inches of height advantage there kind of be shown. She got the rebound and the putback.
And now this lead is up to 7 all of a sudden for Indian Creek. Meyer to Powell.
The zone's working out for Indian Creek so far. Edgewood's having a bit of a hard time breaking it down.
Yeah, not able to really throw out of the under it. And there is Trista Helms' turnaround shot, too strong. Rebound Maddox, and here comes Indian Creek as she pushes it up to Hart. Hart just going to fly down the lane, misses it. Snyder there to clean up the rebound, and Helms is going to get called for the foul. Snyder, definitely a rebounding force so far for Indian Creek, is able to get on the glass, and that is something that Kurt Simic will tell his team here at the break, is you got to get boxed out on Snyder.
Yeah, she's been a threat on the defensive and offensive end. We just seen her posted up, down on the blocks, not really moving around much. Even though she does come up a few times for above the arc, but mainly she stays down low. As we see her here down at the bottom of the zone again.
She's got 8 points so far for the Lady Braves. Again, lead is up to 9 all of a sudden as you see the double team. And you hear Coach Simic yelling, take it to her, take it to her.
And especially whenever you get double team, you got to realize someone else is open, so you got to find that person.
There's Trista Helms, strong take to the basket for the freshman.
Basket by Helms.
And she's got 4 points. Indian Creek. Sherfield deflects it out of bounds. It'll be Indian Creek's ball. And Spear will go guard the inbounder. Snyder gonna fire a 3. It is off the mark, and the horn sounds. Indian Creek leads Edgewood 19-12 after 1 quarter here on Smithville Sports.
Welcome to Technology Powered by Smithville. Let our welcoming and friendly staff help you with your technology needs. Stop by to get Smithville Cellular Extra plans on the latest devices. Get routers and tech products at great prices. Plus, if you're a Smithville customer, you can pay your bill and change services. Come see us at the Clear Creek Crossing Plaza or check us out at smithville.com/technology. Technology powered by Smithville, Bloomington's communications and tech store.
As we welcome you back to the Mustang Corral here at Edgewood High School, and you see Kurt Simic, the Edgewood coach, giving his team instructions after the Mustangs trail the Braves 19-12 after the first quarter of action. As we're glad you could join us for Edgewood Mustang basketball here on Smithville Sports alongside Jeremy Nutter. I am Nick Jenkinson. And I'll tell you what, Jeremy, in that first half, Indian Creek did it in a variety of ways with 5 players scoring and Caitlin Snyder leading the way with 8 points.
Yeah, and it seemed as though the hardest part for Indian Creek was, just keeping it up on defense and be able to be good on the fast break. But for Edgewood, it definitely was difficult for them to break down the zone defense. I feel like that was the biggest issue for them after they got past the full court press. And so if Indian Creek continues to run a zone defense, we'll see if in the quarter break if Edgewood talked about that at all, about how to break it down.
As we are underway here in quarter number 2, as you see Meyer with the steal going the other way, and she gets it to go. Kaylee Meyer with her 5th point of the night. So that is a good response. Cuts this lead to 5, and now a foul underneath by Edgewood.
And look who it is again. It's Caitlin Snyder down there getting the rebound and the foul.
Number 22, Spear.
And they're going to get Allie Spear for the foul. That's her 2nd. Team 7th. Indian Creek already in the 1-1. Now we're going to see Jonelle Poise come in, replacing Allie Spear. She goes out with 2 fouls. Allie Harris at the line for Indian Creek, 5'11" junior. And she is able to get the free throw. She'll have 1 more. She's got 3 tonight so far. Big advantage for Indian Creek now, Jeremy, up by 7, and now you're in the 1-1 early on in the 2nd quarter.
I have a feeling we're going to be seeing a lot of free throws as Indian Creek will look to penetrate the rim and possibly draw some fouls, and that'll cause the game to slow down a little bit and play more in their favor as they'll go to the line probably a bunch more through the rest of the quarter.
Again, Indian Creek staying in the zone. It has been effective so far, as you see Edgewood not able. Pace is posting up, but Sherfield can't get it to her. Now they throw the entry into her. She gets it back out to Powell. Entry into Helms, and Snyder's going to commit the foul as Helms is going to go to the line.
And if you see their passing, they just need to be a little bit quicker. They had a few openings there, but if they're able to get quicker pass and quicker release for a shot, definitely opportunities there. By overloading the zone, you're able to cause confusion, and the person over in their zone does not know who to guard, and therefore you're able to get some possible open looks and points out of it.
Trista Helms back at the line, missed her first foul shot, was able to get that one as she misses the second one. That is one thing Edgewood struggles with throughout the season, is free throw shooting. But they were able to get the offensive rebound, and again, no shot clock in Indiana High School basketball. As Janelle Pace gonna kind of take Snyder down low. Meyer's gonna fire a three, too strong. Powell there for the rebound. Gets it out to Sherfield. Meyer is gonna get fouled by Hart as she drove the lane.
And there we saw that zone fall apart after she was there was a bit of post action and a kick out and a missed shot. It just kind of caused the zone to fall apart and getting Edgewood a free look.
That is the first on Jesse Hart and the team's 6. So one more for the Braves, and Edgewood will be in the 1-and-1. Trista Helms gonna get double teamed, gets it out to Zoe Powell, to Carly Sherfield. Meyer, and as you see now, Indian Creek, every time that someone gets the ball, they collapse on that player. Trista Helms gets the turnaround, though, on Caitlin Snyder, and Helms has 7 already.
And that seems to be the most compelling matchup of the night is Trista Helms versus Caitlin Snyder. Them both in the post seem to be kind of the dominant forces on their team so far.
Allie Harris hit right and there, drains the 3 from the wing. She now has 7. Again, balanced effort for Indian Creek. 5 players so far of the 6 that have played have scored. Maddox, the only girl who's not scored for the Braves yet. And that was deflected by Harris into the hands of Snyder, and here comes the Braves.
Again, skip pass and zones are not the best idea, and we keep seeing Edgewood try and doing that, and that's how they get caught out.
Beautiful feed from Snyder to Hart underneath, and Jesse Hart has 7. It's not a one-person show for Indian Creek. They all get in on the act. The lead is 9.
Another
dangerous
skip pass.
There is Maddox. Loses the ball, triple team, Pace goes to the floor, and then I think Maddox kind of kicked the ball in frustration, and the officials did not see
number
that.
13, Danny Simon in for the Braves. And number 10, Emily Tudor in for the Braves.
Now we're going to see Danny Simon and Emily Tudor into the game for the
30-second timeout
Braves.
taken by the Mustangs.
The Mustangs call a 30-second timeout. You see the Edgewood huddle with Coach Kurt Simic. Mark Hamilton, the JV coach. Kylie Jarrett as well there. Kylie Jarrett, an Indiana All-Star from Bloomington North. Played at Ball State University. She was on the team in 2007 that knocked off the University of Tennessee in the first round. The only time at that time that Tennessee had ever been knocked out of the NCAA tournament in the first or second round. And as a Ball State graduate, I was definitely thrilled to watch that game that night, and will never forget that moment to see them knock off Tennessee in the tournament. So
definitely March Madness is the place to be, and a fun time for sure. I know I've had a couple of fun years watching it for sure.
That's definitely one of the most exciting times of the year, as Kaylee Meyer gets fouled, and she'll get to go to the line.
Foul at number 13, Simon. Meyer on the line.
As Simon commits the foul.
And I wonder if Coach Simic talked to them at all about the skip passes and trying to deconstruct that zone more, because that's definitely something that they could look to, because if they're able to, then they'll be a lot more successful and get the game a lot closer. But if they continue to use skip passes, it may be an issue for them moving forward.
Meyer is able to hit both. She's got 7 points, and this lead cut to 7. Snyder in the lane, able to score.
Basket by Snyder.
She's in double figures. Here is Edgewood approaching the 4-minute mark. We'll have a good, great halftime feature for you. Stay tuned as Carly Sherfield has it. Again, another dangerous pass. Meyer able to recover it, too strong. And then Meyer just flying everywhere, saves it from out of bounds. Trista Helms misses it, and then she comes up limping a little bit. I think her foot was stepped on, as Indian Creek is able to score with Simon down low, and the lead is back up to 11 for the Braves.
And it's little things like that that'll set you off. Another dangerous pass not being able to get through, and that kind of devolves the play and ends up getting Indian Creek a basket.
Yeah, defense leads to offense, and Indian Creek, that's what they feed off of, is that defensive effort leading to the mistakes. Helms going to fire up a jumper, no good. Rebound Snyder. Hart's going to get the 3 ball and nail it from the wing, her second 3 of the night. And now Indian Creek starting to pull away.
And Edgewood's defense is just breaking apart as they're not able to find their man quick enough, and that's really hurting them. Whereas you look at Indian Creek in their zone, and they're really executing well and are able to effectively stop Edgewood.
And empty possessions as Helms comes up short. Snyder with the board. Nice turnaround, no good though, and Meyer with the rebound. Here comes Meyer slicing her way through all the Braves, but not able to finish.
And that's what Coach talked to us about before the game, not able to get those layups. And there we just saw again how layups overall can really hurt you, in that miss, and a few misses that we've seen so far have been really hurting Edgewood in their ability to keep the game close.
And one thing over the years that I have noticed watching basketball is how many missed layups you see at all levels. It doesn't only drive coaches insane, it drives broadcasters like us insane too, because you've seen it so much. As Tudor misses the free throw, now we'll see Mallory Love into the game for the first time. Love is another player that came off, missed all last year with an ACL injury, and is able to finally get back onto the floor this season as a junior.
And you said layups make people upset, as well as free throws make everybody upset, because I know plenty of times where games have been lost by 1 or 2 or 3, and you had those opportunities at the free throw line and aren't able to convert. So we'll see if that plays a factor in this game or the boys' game later.
Yeah, Indian Creek so far doing pretty well at the line as travel on Edgewood. And we're going to see Caitlin Tudor back into the game for the Braves.
And we'll see at halftime if Coach Simic is able to motivate his girls and be able to come out and firing and making shots, because, in 2 quarters, a lot can change, that's for sure. I've seen turnarounds that have been incredible, so we'll see if that's possible.
As Brian Ferris calls a 30-second timeout here with 1:45 to go. Well, Edgewood will be off before the holidays. They won't play again until December 28th. They will be at the Eastern Green Tournament, which is also known as the Toby Yoho Classic. It's a 12-team tournament. They will play 2 pool games. They will play Trinity Lutheran in the morning, and they will play Paoli in the afternoon. Those are, as Coach Simic talked to us, those are going to be tough tests as well for this Mustang team, who so far 2-3 at home, not able to have a lot of success on the road yet, 0-7 so far, and they have played every class in Indiana. They're 0-1 against the Class 4As, 1-3 against 3As, 1-3 against 2As, and then 0-3 against the 1As. So, you know, a lot of teams, these schedules, Indian Creek does the same thing, where you pretty much play everybody you can around your area, whether big or small. And there's a long three off the mark, and then Harris able to chase down the board. Simon.
And we see they got caught ball watching there and end up getting caught inside after getting caught on the ball watch, and ended up be able to get a basket converted out of that by Indian Creek.
Jesse Hart with the runner in the lane. Here comes Carly Sherfield, and she scores. Carly Sherfield gets her first two of the night.
And that's what they need, just a few baskets to really turn around their spirits, just going to the half strong and on a streak, and not, you know, miss some layups or get caught on the fast break. It's really important for them to be able to convert these points and cut the lead down.
Carly Sherfield at the line, 5'5" freshman. Has been asked to do a lot with Shelby Anderson out due to a stress fracture. Has basically, when Shelby went out, Carly Sherfield was able to basically play all 32 minutes the next game. So Kurt Simic relies a lot on his freshmen, and you know they have responded they have responded well so far this season.
And you know they'll probably take this year as a learning year, as you know they don't have all the answers, but are able to still get out there and get some experience, as we see Indian Creek here.
Indian Creek moving it around.
And again, getting caught down low and some ball watching as they're in a zone now.
Yeah, Edgewood going zone. As Love is guarding Hart. They're going to try to set the screen, throw it underneath. Maddox recovers. Double team, turnaround, unkind, rebound by Indian Creek, and it's no good. And then out of bounds, it will be Edgewood ball.
That'll be interesting to see if they continue that zone into the second half and see how successful they are, as they stopped Indian Creek there on that scoring opportunity. So we'll see if Coach Simic thinks that that's a good opportunity and a good choice moving forward.
There is Carly Sherfield, not able to get the bucket. Here comes Indian Creek. Jesse Hart pushes it up to Tudor, and then Carly Sherfield there, but she throws it right in the hands of Tudor, who can't convert. Ball is loose. And the horn will sound as Indian Creek will lead 36-21 going into the break. As we look at the highlights from the first half, and it is Edgewood being able to hit the shot to three, as Kaylee Meyer has 7 points. Taylor Minnick, who got 2 quick fouls, has 5. You see the nice pass inside to the freshman Trista Helms. She's got 7 as well. Big matchup between Helms and Snyder down low, and the freshman is not afraid of the senior being able to score. Indian Creek's able to hit the outside shots. Snyder with a nice pass to Jesse Hart. It's a balanced scoring effort. As you see Hart just throwing up the beautiful runner in the lane, as Indian Creek leads Edgewood 36-21 here on Smithville Sports. We welcome you back to the Mustang Corral here at Edgewood High School in Ellettsville, Indiana. Halftime of the girls varsity contest with the Indian Creek Braves up 36-21 over the Edgewood Mustangs. Glad you could join us for Edgewood Mustang basketball here on Smithville Sports alongside Jeremy Nutter. I am Nick Jenkinson. And Jeremy, so far, Indian Creek has been able to do it with balanced scoring and also very good free throw shooting from the line.
Yeah, it's been very interesting to see Indian Creek's strategy coming out with a full court press, then a zone, and really be able to keep Edgewood on the edge of their toes and not be able to stay settled or get into a scoring kind of groove. So we'll see if they continue that in the second half as they start out on offense, and we'll see if Edgewood can stop them here, as I see they're running a zone again.
Yeah, Edgewood so far, Indian Creek was led at halftime. Jesse Hart with 11, Caitlin Snyder with 10, Allie Harris with 7. Trista Helms and Kaylee Meyer lead the way with 7 as Allie Harris now in double figures with 10 points.
Yeah, and we see now Indian Creek in a man-to-man scenario. So we'll see how well this works for them as they change their defense.
Was able to solve, the zone was working as Meyer missed the shot, Maddox with the board, and here comes the Braves. Working the ball around is Maddox, Grider, Snyder able to pass out well. Harris going to fire 3, Meyer late on that closeout, but it's no good, and then here is Carly Sherfield taken away. Inside Maddox, and she's able to get the bucket on the assist from Snyder.
And we see Edgewood's defense there fall apart after they thought they got the steal and explode out and are able to get countered by Indian Creek and end up getting scored on.
As Maddox finally gets into the scorebook, all the girls for Indian Creek, all 8 have been able to score so far this evening. Meyer, too strong. Allie Spear, who had 2 fouls early, gets the rebound, no good, gets another rebound, and then loses it off her foot, out of bounds. It'll be Indian Creek ball.
And Edgewood may want to run some plays here. May want to just kind of slow the tempo down, slow the pace down away from Indian Creek's high-tempo play in order to, fit more into their style and into their favor, and just be able to think through their plays, think through their defense, and sort themselves out better. As them switch to a man-to-man now.
Down by 20. Snyder battling the Helms. A lot of contact, no call, as it was last touched by Edgewood. It'll be Indian Creek ball. Been an interesting matchup down there with Snyder and Helms. The senior against the freshman.
Yeah, I was just about to comment on that, about how, the people making the biggest impact, Allie Harris and Caitlin Schneider, are definitely veterans and are able to kind of use that to their advantage against this young Edgewood team.
Indian Creek gets the entry into Snyder. Taylor Minnick takes it away from Snyder. Minnick gonna push, now slows it up, throws it to Meyer, kind of over her head, but Edgewood recovers. As Meyer with it. Gonna slice through 2 Braves and score.
And that's what they definitely more of is just penetrating play, wait for the time and penetrate.
As Trista Helms on the other end is gonna get the foul called, as Caitlin Snyder is gonna go to the line.
Foul on Helms.
That's 2
Snyder
on Trista
line
Helms.
for 2.
And Caitlin Snyder at the line. As she gets the foul shot to go. Indian Creek in the first half, 9-12 for 75%.
And again, that's what we're talking about, how these layups that Edgewood has been missing, as well as the free throws, and the way Indian Creek's been the opposite of that and been able to really convert a lot of their shots, as well as free throws, kind of shows a different level of maturity and class, in their experience and how old they are, in their experience in basketball in general.
Trista Helms gets called for another personal, now her 3rd. As I think we are about to see the other Sherfield enter the game for the first time. And this will be Claire Sherfield, number 12, entering the game for the Mustangs, replacing Trista Helms, as the foul was on Carly Sherfield, her third, and the team's third. As there's a foul underneath on Edgewood. And that will be
foul number 10
on
Sherfield.
Carly Sherfield. And that's her fourth.
Ryder on the line.
And
Team's fourth.
And then again, we already see the fouls stacking up for Edgewood and how that may impact this half. As it may be a long half for them as they keep Indian Creek going to the line.
Indian Creek was able to, like I said, get there 12 times in the first half. Already been there 3 times so far here in this quarter, and they are 3 of 4 at the line as this lead is pushed to 21. Zoe Powell back in for the Mustangs wearing number 35. Boys will follow 20 minutes after this. Mustangs are 5-0. Ranked 6th in Class 3A. Indian Creek comes in at 5-1. Both teams are 2-0 in the Western Indiana Conference East Division. So a huge division matchup on the boys' side as they want that upper hand to get to that crossover champion, to get to that conference championship game in January.
Foul on number 12, Sherfield.
That is on Claire Sherfield, her first.
And again, another foul to keep stacking on, which is going to be an issue for Edgewood moving forward. And hopefully they're able to start breaking down Indian Creek and breaking them down on the fast break and stopping them there rather than causing them to go to the line through fouls and bad block attempts.
And there is Hannah Grier, 3 for 4 at the line in this quarter, 4 for 5 on the night. And the lead is now 23 for the Braves. Again, Indian Creek has not lost to Edgewood. The series dates back to 2013. First time these two teams played, Indian Creek had an Indiana All-Star named Allie Lehman who went on to Northern Illinois. And I was the PA announcer for the game, and she outscored Edgewood by herself 40-39.
Oh, mercy. Well, that'll do it. That'll get you some notoriety for sure.
Very good player, and it was definitely something that I won't forget, as you don't see a player like that legitimately outscore a team by herself.
I've seen it 1 or 2 times by some very good players, and I can definitely tell you it's quite a sight to see whenever you see one player completely dominate the game.
Absolutely. That's something you don't see as often. As there's a steal, here is Taylor Minnick, and she is able to finish as Minnick scores her 7th point of the night. And then Kaylee Meyer deflects it, and Snyder touched it last, and it is Edgewood ball. So good heads-up play by Kaylee Meyer.
Yeah, and it seems like she's been in a lot of places, definitely keeping the offense going, keeping the defense going, and being very intense on the breaks, and definitely been a bright spot for Edgewood so far.
And Kaylee Meyer, a cross-country runner for Edgewood, missed the first couple games because she didn't have enough missed the first game because she didn't have enough practices before the season started, so she had to sit out a game. But I know Coach Simic was so happy to get her back because she brings so much to this team in terms of leadership and a veteran presence.
Definitely, yeah. You want as many senior leaders as you can, and having only 2 on this team really means that they have to step up and definitely to show themselves and set an example for those younger girls coming up.
Janelle Pace was the other one who missed most of the year with the ACL injury. There is Kaylee Meyer, and it is taken away by Grider. Here comes Indian Creek. They have the numbers. This is Pruitt. She misses it. Allie Spear with the board, and she comes the other way. 1-on-2, and Spear will get to go to the line as she is fouled.
And there we just saw something that's pretty rare this game, some fast breaks back and forth. And
number 41.
If Edgewood can definitely keep that up, keep that intensity up, and use that to their advantage, they could definitely start, cutting away a little bit, just finding whatever they that work out for them, because they definitely have not been able to be successful on stopping Indian Creek on the offensive play, so they definitely have to convert a lot more on their offensive end.
Emily Tudor back in. Allie Spear at the line. Missed most of last season with an injury. Coach Simic told me in the offseason that she was one of the hardest workers to get back, and is actually finally healthy, and it showed the way she moves all over the court.
That was an excellent play by Indian Creek down there, being able to convert that off of a almost no-look pass.
Allie Harris able to score, and there is Taylor Minnick, who is got 9 points. Indian Creek throws it away, and this is kind of what you and I have discussed a little bit. Is if Edgewood could if they could get some defensive stops and able to convert offense, this could be a ball game again.
Yeah, and it's simple things, but it's the most important part is converting those shots down low, and that's something they definitely struggled with.
As Allie Spear has it. Gets it to Kaylee Meyer. Gonna slice down the lane, but it is taken away. And now there's Allie Spear. Gets it into the hands of Meyer.
She was looking for the pass. She got caught out, and then we see Edgewood retains possession.
Mustangs.
It doesn't seem like Edgewood are running effective plays necessarily against Indian Creek. It's more they're like a drive and a hope.
There is what, and Allie Spear not able to finish that layup as Jessie Hart comes the other way. Snyder gets fouled, and she will go to the line, and that's going to be on Claire Sherfield, her second.
That's not an uncommon saying this game. Caitlin Snyder to the line.
Foul on number 12, Sherfield.
Caitlin Snyder at the line so far, 4 of 5 this evening. And she is able to get that one to go. Lead is 20. One more, and it is good for Snyder. 6 of 7 at the line tonight for the senior, as Claire Sherfield almost loses the handle.
And again, she's being guarded by Caitlin Snyder, which is interesting to see.
And there is the battle for it on the floor. Minnick is able to get it. Meyer just slices her way down the lane. And Kaylee Meyer keeps Edgewood going. Kaylee Meyer, no doubt about it, for Edgewood is the floor leader on this team, and is kind of that energizer bunny. She's that spark that makes Edgewood go.
Like you said, she did some cross country, so that definitely will help you in the ability to keep going. But as you see her there, try that.
And she's not able to finish, and we go to the end of the third quarter with Indian Creek in control, 50-31 on Smithville Sports.
Whether you need an awesome wrap for your truck, a new look for your sports car, or simply some great window tinting, Van Horn has you covered. Need accessories like step bars, bug shields, or toolboxes? Or how about a neon clock for the garage or den? Van Horn can take care of it. With years of experience, Van Horn gives you the professional look with the quality you deserve. Stop by our shop in Ellettsville, the large building behind McDonald's, or give us a call at 812-876-2230. You can also visit our website at vanhorn1.com. Van Horn Tent and Accessories, the place for your custom vehicle needs.
As we welcome you back to the Mustang Corral here at Edgewood High School, Ellettsville, Indiana. Edgewood down 50-31 as we start the fourth quarter. Glad you could join us for Edgewood Mustang basketball and Smithville Sports alongside Jeremy Nutter. I am Nick Jenkinson. And Jeremy, while Edgewood's down by 19, they've got some things to be proud about. Trista Helms had a good first half, But in the second half, it has been Kaylee Meyer and Taylor Minnick leading the way for them.
That's for sure. I mean, you see Kaylee Meyer all over the place. There right before the end of the quarter, she was able to get the ball, drive down, and get a layup. And so seeing stuff like that's definitely bright spots for them. And hopefully the younger players can take that as an example moving forward in this game and in the fourth quarter as they continue to try to make a comeback and as well the rest of the season.
As we are underway here in the fourth quarter, boys game to follow 20 minutes from now. Edgewood coming off a big win against Bloomfield last week in which they got career highs from sophomore Trevor Taylor with 32 and Coleman Sater with 26. As Kurt Simic wants a full timeout here with 7:50 to go. Of course, we had that Bloomfield game here on Smithville Sports. Your impressions of that Edgewood boys team?
It was incredible to see Trevor Taylor. I think he totally dominated that game. He seemed as though he was everywhere and just having a fun time, honestly, out there, which is always nice to see, and smiling and stuff. And I know whenever he took off, especially, he just kind of was enjoying it, and it was really fun to see him kind of have a good time, as well as everybody else playing their part. But he was definitely the standout player in my opinion, seeing him hitting shots from pretty much wherever they passed it to him, which was incredible.
Coleman Sater, also a sophomore kid that didn't see a lot of time in varsity, as our partner Quinn Saturday always says. He's a guard. He plays like a guard, but he's in a forward bot. He's a big kid that plays like a guard, and you see that a lot now at all different levels of basketball. The bigger these guys get, the better their skill sets are, where they can play basically positionless ball.
Yeah, especially Bull at Oregon.
Yeah, 7'2", and the guy is shooting fadeaway 3-pointers.
Yep.
I've never seen anything like it.
Incredible. That's for sure.
But you also got a guy like Zion Williamson from Duke, 6'8", 280.
A linebacker.
5, who moves, and he just moves like a guard. His skill set, the way he plays, it's like if LeBron James went to college, is like what Zion Williamson compares to, and it's just amazing to watch guys like that.
I've heard that plenty of times, that comparison, and you can definitely see it as he is quite a big dude, and coming at you, I'd be scared.
Yeah, and I think he could be the #1 draft pick next year in the NBA. I don't think there's a question about it.
I was about to say, I don't think that's debated too much there.
I was a general manager of an NBA team, and I had the first pick. I'd take him.
I would too.
Passed by Snyder.
Caitlin Snyder able to score as Indian Creek continues to dominate this game.
And that right there is something that kind of baffles me sometimes, but I was playing pickup the other day, and I did it too. Is picking up your dribble whenever you don't need to. I think that's definitely something people could learn more about, and just continuing their dribble and continuing that liveliness, because that life is in that dribble.
Here comes Indian Creek as Edgewood not able to convert.
And again, we see Indian Creek slowing down play a little bit here, starting to flesh out their plays more, maybe working on some stuff, and being able to use this time is a learning experience for everybody who's in.
They're able to run some clock as well now. Get some good passes. There's a shot in the lane. It's no good. And that will be Edgewood ball. Janelle Pace going to check back in. And Allie Spear going to go out. Again, Edgewood will get a break next week, and they'll be in the Eastern Green Toby Yoho Classic.
And it's interesting, too. Indian Creek has been leaving their better players in, wanting them to get their time in. And that's always interesting to see if coaches, whenever they pull their starters. And we'll kind of see here when Coach Ferris, pulls out his starters if he ends up doing so.
Janelle Pace not able to score. Also, one thing, too, is this is a boys and girls doubleheader. The JV teams are actually in the back gym playing as well. The boys JV teams are playing right now, and then once the boys game starts, the girls JV teams will play. So it's a kind of a unique situation where you have both JV and varsity playing at the same time at the same time.
Basket by Simon.
Simon hits the 3, and Edgewood or Indian Creek continues to.
And again, we see an ability down low where
Janelle Pace is missing it, and here comes the Braves. And that's going to be a travel on Indian Creek.
unfortunately they wouldn't call that in the NBA, as we've seen that plenty of times with players like James Harden and even Luka Doncic doing that recently. But in high school, they still enforce the travel rule.
I think sometimes they still let that Euro step go.
That is
high
true.
School. At least more on the boys' side, and I don't think you see it as much on the girls' side. More on the boys' side. Again, the boys will follow here in 20 minutes. Should be a fun game. Edgewood was 10th last week in Class 3A. They are up to 6th. So exciting to see how the Mustangs respond after that big win last week. And Trevor Taylor remain on fire, as it's a foul underneath. As going to be on Trista Helms. And Indian Creek at the line, Heather Maddox at the line.
And at this point, you really, as Edgewood, as Coach Simic would hopefully be thinking about is how can this be a learning experience and be turned around into a positive experience for the girls, and as they move forward and improve, because it's all about improvement in these games, that don't end up being too close and getting better and not being down at all or getting upset about losing. Always about improving for sure.
Heather Maddox able to hit that free throw. Jesse Hart will come back in. As we approaching 4 minutes to go with a 25-point lead. Michaela Schooling 21 into the game for Edgewood. So Coach Simic able to get in some of the younger girls that don't always see a lot of varsity minutes.
And again, if we look at Kaylee Meyer there running the baseline, she has been open a few times down there, but they've not been able to see her.
Danny Simon goes the other way and gets fouled. And that will be on Claire Sherfield, her third. And the team's 8th. So Danny Simon at the line. She's got 5 points tonight. Again, Indian Creek, very balanced attack. They can do it in a lot of different ways, and now you're going to get to see some more substitutions here, as Coach Fair is starting to empty his bench a little more. Danny Simon in. She's able to score.
Number 15, Aaliyah Rourke, in for the Braves.
And we'll definitely see if Kaylee Meyer can get a look here, as she most likely will be open here on the baseline.
As Kaylee Meyer cross courts it to Sherfield. Helms underneath. And she is able to score and will go to the line. That's Trista Helms' first 2 of this half.
And as we saw down there, the bench getting excited for that shot, and that's really important when you're looking at this team and a young team and seeing getting excited for everything.
Foul, number 24, Tudor.
Yeah, they got to keep their, keep the spirits up, because it doesn't get easier after they go to Eastern Green. They're still at Northview, Brown County, at Monrovia, Owen Valley, as the shot missed. Eastern Green, then the WIC crossover, which will be on the road, and then Bloomington North to end the season. So as Kaylee Meyer scores, you still got a lot of basketball left. even though we're already over halfway through the girls' season.
Yeah, and she's definitely been a standout player with those drives. If you keep seeing her driving from that right side and getting in, that's where they've been definitely the most successful.
Schooling is called for the travel. As 2:51 to go here. Indian Creek going to go to 7-0 against Edgewood since 2013. And they are going to, Edgewood will go to 0-3 in the division. And Indian Creek going to go to 2-2. As Helms blocks Simon.
And absolutely monster stuff.
And we've seen that a couple times from Trista Helms this season. I mean, you know, in a time where it seemed like a lot of freshmen never played, we're seeing more and more freshmen be able to come into high school and be able to contribute right away on varsity. And she gets another one. Now she's going to take the ball. Here she goes.
She's going to take that.
But not able to score, but she'll get to go to the line.
And there was no way she was going to pass that as she got those 2 blocks and said, why not?
Foul on number 15, Moore.
So that's the foul on Indian Creek. Trista Helms at the line. And she is able to score. And we'll see another substitution.
Number 4, Tessa Alexander in for the Braves.
For Tessa Alexander in for Indian Creek. So Coach Ferris already about 2:24 left, able to get most of his starters out of this game as Helms is not able to convert that foul shot. I look for Indian Creek to run some more clock here.
I would assume so. Yeah, they look like they're running a type of play with an overload there on the right side. We'll see what they ended up doing here as they continue to slow it down.
Approaching 2 minutes to go, and they're going to call Pace for the foul.
Foul on number 33, Pace.
Her first, team's 5th. Indian Creek, their schedule coming up. They're at Endenburg December 17th, Greenwood at home, Tri-West. Then they will host the Indian Creek tournament. They'll play Franklin County and then either Bloomington North or Indianapolis Chittard. And then in the new year, Brown County at Roncalli, Indianapolis Heron, the WIC playoffs, and then Crystal House Academy. So again, a busy schedule for both these teams going forward through the season. Meyer not able to convert. Helms, the rebound, the putback, and the foul.
And we see Kaylee Meyer continue being successful down the edge and creating chances. That's what she's done a lot of so far this half, is creating chances, and definitely can work on conversion, especially for the whole Edgewood team down low. But so far they've definitely been a big spot if she gets the rebound.
Trista Helms misses Meyer with the rebound and then not able to convert as Indian Creek has it. Approaching a minute and a half. That was tipped, so it's not a backcourt violation. And then a foul on Edgewood.
Foul on number 25, Meyer.
That's on Kaylee Meyer.
7th and 8th grade boys basketball players, please come to the cafeteria. 7th and 8th grade boys basketball players, make your way to the cafeteria.
And then at the line for the Braves.
Rourke on the line with 1 remaining.
Ward on the line, 1 more. So again, and then they're going to call a lane violation on Indian Creek. Like we said, Coach Ferris able to get these young players into the game, and they're able to still not only get some meaningful minutes, but they're able to get their scoring opportunities as well.
And that's really important for their confidence as they continue to move forward, as they're about right on the cusp of, possibly having a 500 season or, converting more of these games and be able to get a better record and increase their chances with going to the, going through sectionals and going through all that process, because that can definitely be an interesting time whenever you win a couple games before and go in with a strong head of steam.
And in the Indiana State High School Tournament, every team gets the opportunity, as Hart has the block, every team in Indiana gets to play in these state tournaments. So it's, it's always you could always have that special run in a team that may not have the best season.
And I've seen a lot of teams and been a part of a few teams that have had that chance.
John L. Pace not able to convert. Helms with the rebound, no good. Pace the putback, no good. Here comes Indian Creek. Now they will, looks like they're going to run a little offense here as we approach 30 seconds to go. Jesse Hart taken away by Kaylee Meyer.
She's going straight to the basket.
And not able to hold on to it. Out of bounds, it will be Indian Creek ball.
Whenever she gets the ball, it seems like she has a nose for the basket and never really,
actually
thinks of anything else.
Was actually out on Indian Creek, and a nice bounce pass from Meyer to Pace, cutting down the lane.
See if Indian Creek runs out this last part of the clock or ends up running a play.
As we got about 10 seconds to go. Boys game will follow here in about 20 minutes. It looks like Indian Creek's just going to dribble it out, and they're going to come away with an 18-point win, 61-43. As we look at the highlights from tonight's game, and it's really Indian Creek leading the way.
Kylie Miller getting in there with a few layups and fast breaks definitely played to Edgewood's advantage here in the second half.
Yeah, Taylor Minnick able to get to the bucket. Kaylee Meyer, basically the leader of this team, the workhorse, as Indian Creek just able to hit outside, go inside with Caitlin Snyder. But how about the freshman Trista Helms? What a monster game for the young freshman, and a couple big blocks as Indian Creek beats Edgewood 61-43. For all the hardworking women and men behind the scenes, for my partner Jeremy Nutter, I am Nick Jenkinson. We will see you in 20 minutes for the boys game here on Smithville Sports.